Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Today I wanted to do a plan with me video to show you all about my current daily planning routine, and then I also figured I should take the time to answer a lot of the FAQs that I get. Some of these come from the comments section of my YouTube videos, so if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to drop them below. But a lot of the times I will also post pictures of the pages of my planner in various Facebook groups. And a lot of the time I end up getting kind of the same questions over and over. So I figured I would take this time to answer all of those for you. So let's get into it. Probably the most frequent question that I get is, what planner do you use? And the planner that I'm using here is the A5 size of the Take a Note planner. I do have the English version of this, and this is actually the same type of planner that I have been using consistently for 3 years now. That is the longest running streak of me sticking with a single type of planner, so I'm pretty proud of myself. If you're curious about all the other types of planners that I have used in the past, I will plop the card for that video that I made in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and I'll also put the link in the description below for you. All right, let's move on to question number 2, which is that washi tape? The answer is yes. I've actually had several people ask me if I do small watercolor doodles on every single page of my planner, and no, it's definitely washi tape. I am not patient enough to do daily watercolor paintings on my plan. Well, okay, let's just say that that's not what I'm focusing on right now, and that's not how I'm choosing to spend my time. Anyway, this is a great way for me to separate my daily tasks and my daily journaling while adding a little bit of decoration to my pages and using through my hoard of washi tape. Another one that I hear a lot is, how is your handwriting so small? I think this was kind of a common experience when I was in middle school and elementary school. Correct me if you didn't have a similar experience, but I think this is kind of universal. But all of the girls at one time or another were obsessed with having really small, really pretty or unique handwriting. And this was just such a phase all of us went through, that this was what we were focused on more than anything else. If you had neat printing or beautiful cursive, that was like the biggest flex that you could have at this time. And having really cool or unique stationery items too, that was a thing. So basically what I'm saying is that several years of my young life was spent in trying to make my handwriting as small and as neat as possible. And I don't actively try to do that anymore, but I guess I practiced really well because now my husband teases me by saying that my handwriting is like 8-point font. And the next question I'm asked a lot goes along with this, which is, how is your handwriting so neat? And my answer is that it must just be practice. To be honest, I don't even see my handwriting right now as particularly neat. I think it's more of a squiggle, like a flat, loose squiggle. I definitely lose a lot of letters, especially when I'm writing quickly. But the point for me is that, I need to be able to read it. I like to write as quickly as possible because I don't want to spend a lot of time forming each letter. And if it comes across as neat to other people, then great. But the main thing for me is, can I read it and is it fast? And my handwriting right now does both of those things, so. I also get asked, what do you journal about? And honestly, I just play it really loosey-goosey. I don't work from any sort of prompts or anything like that. Usually I'll just write about what I'm thinking about, how I'm feeling, anything that I'm excited about or looking forward to, stuff like that. And the only reason that I journal in the first place is not necessarily because I enjoy it in the moment. It's more that I enjoy looking back at these journaling entries later on in my life. I think it's really great to be able to look at my task list from way back when and understand from that how my life was different. But it's even more interesting for me to read through my old thoughts and what was important to me at the time, what I was thinking about, what I was hoping for. All of that just reminds me of a younger version of myself. And I feel like I lose her if I don't really write her down. So I write her down every day so that in the future I can revisit her. I feel like that got a lot more mushy and emotional at the end than I meant it to, but that's fine. How long does it take you to journal? Usually it just takes me a couple of minutes. Like I said before, one of the main things I want to get out of my handwriting is I want it to be fast. So I don't usually spend that long writing each day's journaling prompt, and it tends to go pretty quickly. When do you journal? I journal for the day in question the next morning. For example, on Monday, I will write my entire task list, I'll focus on completing my entire task list, and then on Tuesday morning, I will go back and journal for Monday. The reason I do this is that I don't want to journal Monday night because sometimes I have to add a task to my list really late in the day, really last minute, and I don't want to have the confusion of, do I need to move washi tape, and then how am I supposed to cut it? Am I covering up my journaling? I don't want to deal with any of that. So I just do it the next day and I write it as if it is still the same day. So like in my example, Tuesday morning, I will write Monday's entry as if it's the end of Monday. How do you have so much to do? I think the answer to this one is really complicated and nuanced. And basically it's that I'm nuts and I try to do everything. All of the tasks that you see in my planner are only personal tasks. None of my work-related tasks get put in my planner. So everything that you see on the page is stuff that I want to get done before I start work, so approximately 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., or after I get off work, approximately 6 p.m. to hopefully not past 11. Why do you write down really small tasks in your planner, like wash hair, or take vitamins, or do dishes? My whole thing with planning is that I want everything to be in one place so I can see all of it. That's the reason I don't use multiple planners for different areas of my life, is because I need everything in one place. You can kind of think of it as similar to the KonMari method for people who are familiar with that method of decluttering. So whenever you're decluttering a certain category, you would pull everything from that category into one physical space. So you can see all of the items that you have that fit into that category, you know how much you have of it, and you then know what you want to keep and what you can get rid of. I apply that same perspective in planning, and I take it to the level where I don't want to be keeping anything in my head. I want to see it all on the page. And this is great for me because it means that I don't feel like I have to remember stuff. And that's the whole reason I plan, is because I want the planner page to remember everything for me, so I don't feel like I have to. Also, it legitimately reminds me to do those things, because I can't really practice effective time management if I can't see everything that I have to get done. So yes, I will forget to do dishes, or take my vitamins, or wash my hair if I don't write it down. What is that highlighter for? I use it to keep track of the most important things that I want to get done on that day. This is loosely based on the daily highlight method in the book Make Time, which I've talked about a little bit before. But as I just mentioned, I put absolutely everything that I'm thinking about on the planner page. So instead of ending up with just kind of a smush of way too many things to do and not understanding what I should be focusing on first, I use the highlighter to pull up tasks that are really going to make the most impact in my day. It helps me understand that not all of the tasks on my daily page are the same level of priority. For example, most days it's not the end of the world if I forget to wash my hair on my usually scheduled hair washing night. But if I'm going into the office the next day and I want to look put together and professional and not like an oil-soaked hamster, then it is kind of priority that I wash my hair on my scheduled hair washing night. So on that day, wash hair would be highlighted. What pens do you use in your planner? I use the Uni Jetstream 4+1 for my daily tasks. I freaking love this pen. I bought it in, I think, 2019, and I think it was a birthday present for myself, so it would have been around July. And I don't think I've bought another pen since then. I've just stuck with this one because I think it's perfect. It's got all of these different ink colors. Of course, I use the red and the black the most, but it also has a pencil, which is just so cool. And then for my daily journaling, I have the TWSBI Eco Pen, which has an extra small nib, and the Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen. The TWSBI was the first fountain pen that I bought, and I still love it. You'll see me using it in this video. But the Vanishing Point is actually my favorite. I'm using the other one because I need to clean and refill the Vanishing Point pen, but that one is definitely my preferred. It has a slightly finer nib, which is really handy because, as mentioned, my handwriting is tiny, so it makes it easier for me to write clearly with a smaller nib. It feels great in my hand because the weight of it, and then when you click the nib in and out, it's just this satisfying, like, chunky sound. I love that. Do you copy incomplete tasks over from one day to the next? The short answer to this is no. The slightly longer answer is that I have an entire video talking about my entire personal organization system. I will link it up here. and it goes over how I sort of manage pulling tasks down. Basically, I don't just copy tasks over from one day to the next if they are not completed. Tasks live in my Notion database, and then each day, depending on how much free time I know I'm going to have, other plans, etc., I will pull tasks down from my Notion database onto the page of my daily planner. Lastly, is it high maintenance trying to keep everything neat? Honestly, a little bit in the moment. Sometimes I'll remember something and I want to just scribble it down without caring how it looks, but taking the extra second to make it look nicer actually means that I'm more likely to use my planner. I've found that if my planner is not neat, I do have less of a desire to use it. And that seems really silly, and it is really silly, but that's kind of just how this habit works for me. And so to steer myself in the direction of planning on the page, which I know makes me more productive, I know it gets me closer to my goals, I'm gonna take that extra second to make the page look slightly neater. I know I'm more likely to reference my planner and use it if it's less messy looking, more pretty, or even just neutral. So that's what I'm trying to do. Finally, please give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it and you want to see more like it, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.